Hey, hey, Lumio lovers! Welcome back to another Lumio live stream. My name is Asha, and with me I have Lois. Hey, Lois!
Hey, Asha, how are you?
I am super today, and I'm super excited to share our lesson on vocabulary and the word search, which is a cool tool built right into Lumio. So, should we jump into it?
Let's jump into it.
All
One of
right.
one of the things that I always love learning is new words, right? And when I was in the classroom, we were always practicing our SAT and ACT vocabulary words. So I think
Mhm.
one of the great things in Lumio is you can use ready-made resources that are available, which is pretty much what I've done here with this Cornell Notes template. And so typically what we would do is do a word a day, right? So me and you work together on grabbing some of these SAT, ACT words and kind of added a word search. So if we go to the top of our lesson, what I've done is I have taken the first word, which was teaming, and I have had some directions placed in it. So if you would like to join my class and learn words along with us, you can absolutely do that. I could just pop out my class ID here. So you would just go to hellosmart.com and enter the class ID 856238. And so basically with this, I have made an individual handout. And then right after that, I did a whole group workspace. And I like doing that because I like students to work individually to see what they know about the word and then share as a group because we have them do individual things. So I'm just going to go to my student progress and I can see that I have 3 students that have completed this. But I can go to the teacher handout if I'd like to model how I want them to do this. So basically here, I'm asking people what the word teaming means. I've added some audio here that asks you to tell me what you think this word means before you look it up. Then you're going to provide the definition, the part of speech, use the word in a sentence, find a synonym, an antonym, and then draw the word, right? So, Asha, what do you think the word teaming means?
Oh, I'm totally cheating because I do know the answer. However, you know how English is. So when you say teaming, you might almost think it's an action word with team, like TEAM. So that could be confusing for, um, new English learners, English language learners. So, but I know the answer to this one, but I won't spill the beans yet.
Okay, so Abril here felt like it was working as a team, right?
Hmm.
So yes, I mean, if teaming, like doing something as a team, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the correct one, but what's great is we could go here and put a little X here using our stickers that are available now, right? So it's always good to think back on the information that we already have. What's our background knowledge on this word, right? And then we can see that the definition was placed in, and we can see that it means abundant or swarming with, and we know
Mhm.
that that's correct, right? Um, and use the word in a sentence. The class was teeming with germs. Ugh. Not a fan of that sentence, but I'm sure lots of classes are teeming with germs. Then we can draw the word and we can see little students here and germs everywhere. I would say that's a good depiction of teeming with germs, right?
Indeed, indeed.
So, Asha, did you have a synonym for teeming?
Oh my gosh, I don't have a synonym.
Okay. So, Abril here
Hmm.
says bursting, and that is also a really good word for that. I wouldn't have thought that one. And then how about an antonym? Did we have one of those?
Oh gosh, I feel like I haven't even done my homework on this one.
Well, and that is a good reason why we might want to move on and go to our group workspace, right? So this
Love
is
it.
super simple to set up. Basically, we just hit set up, and then depending on the number of students that are logged in, we'll decide how many teams we have. And then students can share the work that they did on their individual handout. So I can see, Asha, you're on your own on this one, unfortunately, because there's only three of us. But Abril and Megan can work on that in the same way. So, how would I set this up when I'm working on this myself? So, one of the great things that we can do is I have a list of SAT, ACT vocabulary words. And so basically, I just went in and added a document. So if I just go to click the plus here, I can go to add a plain whiteboard, use any background I typically like, or I can search the Lumio library for various different things that are already ready for me to use. And that's what I did. I did the Cornell notes. And so I added a few things and changed a few things. And that's the great thing because you're able to personalize anything you have from Lumio for yourself because every class is different, right? So I haven't looked up these words, but I feel like this was a word you picked. Did you pick clout?
I most definitely picked clout, and I know the Gen Zs out there, this is their lingo, but clout, it really does mean um, like when you're trying to get like notoriety or special advantage or power, that is what clout means.
Okay. So actually Gen Z using a word the way it's meant to be used. Who would have thought, right?
Indeed, indeed, they are using it correctly.
I love
I think
that.
they say clout chaser. Those are people that's looking for the power.
Okay. That makes sense. You know, in working with new vocabulary or maybe vocabulary that we've heard before but are not sure exactly how that came about reminds me of something I read from Adam Grant this week. And he says it takes curiosity to learn and it takes courage to unlearn, right? Because it's kind of
I
hard to
love
admit
that.
that we don't know everything. And of course, we don't know everything, and the things we know change over time as we find out new things. So, I always love to remind my students that learning requires the humility to admit what you don't know today, and unlearning requires the integrity to admit that you were wrong yesterday. But overall, learning is how you evolve, right?
Of course. I love that quote. It's amazing.
It makes me happy. Now, this is something that you created for us. One of the
Yeah.
game based activities in Lumio is our word search. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about the word search?
Yeah, for sure. So the word search is actually a template built right into Lumio. And so there's tons of templates that you can use. You can have a plain background if you want, but of course, keeping it on theme, on brand, had to do the yellow Lumio. And it was super easy. All I had to do was put in the words and then it randomly put it into the word search for me. So I didn't have to do much. It literally took just a few moments for me to actually put this activity together. And it's nice because this is a great way to study. I'm a queen of word searches. Like I love word searches. And you can even look for hints. So if you're struggling finding one of the words, there's a little hint button there that can help you find those words. And then you can also set as an instructor, you can set how easy or how difficult this word search is. So I set it to moderate for today.
Yeah, it's feeling kind of like difficult here, Asha, just saying. Or maybe I'm just a little sleepy today, but I love the word search. And the more ways that we can work with our vocabulary, the more likely we are to use that word and make it to our long term memory, right?
For sure.
Yeah, I love the word search. And I also love that you can change the background to anything that you would like. Um, Before we get to that, I also wanted to show people I am just going to hit end lesson here. There's also some other great activities that, as we were looking for, that we found in the Lumio library. So if you want to search for anything related to vocabulary, you could come here to the Lumio library, check out what's featured because that changes all the time. But we were talking about a game that was online called Words with Friends, right?
Oh my gosh, that game had me in a chokehold for a moment.
Yeah, so I just wanted to show this really great activity, Vocabulary with Friends by Lauren Reeves. This is a really great multiple player game to get your students to use your vocabulary, and it's free in the Lumio library, so you should definitely check that out. Is there anything that you saw in the Lumio library, Asha?
There was one actually in regards to parts of speech, and I know that we talked about that in earlier. So you can, there's a few activities there. Again, I found that one in the Lumio library where you can find activities that you can use your vocabulary, find the parts of speech. It's amazing what you can find. And there's tons of resources in that Lumio library. You can search by grade level and subject matter.
Yeah, and just putting in parts of speech, so many different things to choose from. I believe this is the one that we were looking at, right? The
That
parts
is it.
of
Yep.
speech popsicle sticks.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I really loved that lesson when you were showing it to me. So if you work with students and they need to learn parts of speech, I highly recommend that one as well. I am just going to pop back over to my library. One of the things that I love about Lumio is that if I move in and out of different lessons or start different things, everything saves automatically. So I can actually just hop back to right wherever I was. But I think you have an announcement to share with us.
Yes, so big news. We won the Best of Show at ISTE for 2024, which is amazing. And so, I mean, who doesn't love Lumio, right? So this was a really great. And then we also have a Lumio challenge that is coming up here. So we have, of course, Lumio Palooza that is going to be July 16th. Am I correct?
16th
Of
and 17th.
16th and 17th. So we'll have folks that are going to be presenting from around the world on various topics. So please register. The link is in the chat for you to register for Lumio Palooza. And that's next week. It's coming up pretty quickly here.
It is. And I know you're helping out in Lumio Palooza. I am too. I've been speaking with our ambassadors who are presenting lessons, and I am just blown away at their creativity.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be so much fun next week. And you can actually share your favorite part of Lumio Palooza. And don't forget hashtag Lumio Challenge to let us know on all of the socials.
Absolutely. Well, it's been such a blast with you here, Asha, learning about vocabulary. Until next time.
See you guys. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you in a couple of